Alright, so I'm going to talk about rankings right now. Again, this is because over the weekend, you know, I was hearing about people talking about sanctioning bodies and how they rank fighters. It doesn't matter, they're really irrelevant rankings. And that belts don't matter and that the sanctioning bodies are all corrupt. And some are doing well to actually get their mandatories fighting one another. I think there's a level of ignorance over how sanctioning bodies work, so I'm going to try and educate very quickly. Alright, so you have four major world sanctioning bodies, right? WBC, WBA, IBF, WBO. First of all, sanctioning bodies and how they rank their fighters are more or less the same, but they have slight differences between them. But for the most part, how they rank their fighters is based on a plus-minus system, which has to do with the level of competition, the wins versus the losses, and how a fighter wins or loses a fight. Okay? It's that simple. Now, why rankings are important? They're important to the fighters because the fighters, when they get into the pros, they actually face a particular sanctioning body. So they're important to the fighters a lot. Now let's get into how this affects fighters. Let's talk about a fighter right here. You're looking at welterweights right now. You're looking at Ray Robinson. Now Ray Robinson is a fighter, right? He's ranked in the WBC and he's registered also with the WBO. Ray Robinson is going to be affected by a sanctioning body because the goal of every fighter is to become a world champion, right? Once you enter the pros, that's your goal, to get to that level, championship level. And the way to get to the championship level is to actually rise up within a given sanctioning body's rankings. That's the only way you become a world champion. So for a guy like Ray Robinson, who is 8 steps away from getting a championship shot, it means a lot to him that he's ranked number 8 in the WBC or number 6 in the WBO. Now, every fighter cannot be ranked in every single sanctioning body. Why? Because you have to pay sanctioning fees. You have to register in a body to fight. Every fight that you go into, you have to pay a fee to fight your opponent. So, Ray Robinson is ranked in the WBC and the WBO, but he's not ranked in the WBA or IBF. Why? Because he don't got the money to pay the sanctioning fees to fight. Make sense? So, at this present time in the world today, no matter where you are in the world, you want to be ranked by any one of these four major world organizations. Whether you start off at 200, 300 in the world, it doesn't matter. You want to move up the ranks. So, as a boxer, it's in your best interest to be ranked by any one of these four major world organizations, because those are the organizations that are there for you to make progress to get a title shot. Each organization, therefore, will have a different pool of fighters. And if you look at the top 15 in each of these organizations in front of you, you're going to see mostly different names. You're going to see some common names to some of them. All right? Why sanctioning bodies are important is because when you go to fight, you're going to either have a fight in the WBC. It'll be a WBC fight, or it may be a WBA fight, or it may be a WBO fight. And that fight is important because the results of that fight will affect your rankings in that particular organization. Alright, let me give you an example. So, for instance, when Amir Khan beat Louis Collazo, he moved up in rankings to attain the belt, which was known as the silver belt. It's basically a number one contender spot to face the champion. So he rose up to the number one spot. But that's in the WBC. In the WBA, that win did affect him. It did affect his rankings. He moved up in his rankings in the WBA, but he didn't move to the #1 spot. Right? Now, to help you guys understand the point system very quickly, the point system is based on your performance in different fights. If it's going to be on a plus minus rating, so you have a plus rating if you've beaten your opponent. You have a minus rating if you lose to your opponent. And your plus rating can be the highest if you ended the fight in a KO, for instance. Less if you won by unanimous decision. And it would be a bigger minus rating if you lost by KO, for instance, or less big if you lost by, say, unanimous decision. So the plus minus rating is based on basically your wins and losses and how you win and how you lose. It also is based on your level of opposition and how you won or lost against them. So this is the simple way of explaining. I can use an example. For instance, Andre Berto. Why is he ranked above Amir Khan? Well, first of all, Andre Berto fought a WBA fight against Josecito Lopez and his last opponent. So because of that, he immediately gets higher ranked than Amir Khan, who fought his last couple of fights being WBC fights. The other reason is Andre Berto got a knockout win in his last fight and a unanimous decision win in his second to last fight. Amir Khan, he got unanimous decision wins in his last couple of fights. Okay, so all of these are reasons why Andre Berto didn't just, it's not only how he won, but also the level of opposition. He fought Josecito Lopez and another guy who was not that highly ranked, whereas Amir Khan fought Chris Algieri and Devon Alexander and Louis Collazo, but his wins over those guys were not as great. And the last thing is your resume. So Berto is two-time world champion at welterweight. Amir Khan is not a world champion at welterweight, but he is a double titled champion at junior welterweight. So you have to look at the resume, the entire resume of the fighter as well. Most of us judge a fighter on his last performance. That's unfair. Sanctioning bodies, they generally look at the entire fighter's career, and that's how they judge them. So that's how fighters are ranked. Okay? So without going into too much more, there's so much more I wanted to say. The last time I recorded, it was like 20 minutes worth of stuff I had to say. I decided to just keep it simple. So this is the simple answer to that. All right? We'll go into the other aspects in a minute.